So speaking of convoluted from that last discussion we had, what does it mean to be convoluted? Well, we have elevations and depressions inside of the brain. Elevations, gyri is high. Depressions, sulk down low. Okay, so an elevation in the brain, the cortex, cerebral cortex, has what we call all of our cells. And the cells that we need in all of these lobes are what we need for processing information. So the points at which they are high, gyri, it's just a description of what you're seeing in the brain. If you see an elevation, you just call it a gyrus or gyri multiple. If you see a depression, anything that's sulking down low, you just call it sulci. Sulci is plural, gyri is plural, but gyrus is singular and sulcus is singular. So either one that you use doesn't matter as long as you understand the reference point. It's giving you just descriptions of what is elevated and what is depressed. And how they use that is in the brain, we have a major, they call it a central sulcus. So if this is the frontal lobe, this is the parietal lobe, and then you have everything else kind of everywhere else, temporal and then occipital here. And underneath, hidden underneath all of this is what we call the insula. And there's a point at which there is a central sulcus. And we're getting ahead, but this is an idea of what you guys should know. In front of it, we call this the precentral gyrus. And behind it, we call it the postcentral gyrus. And we said the function of the parietal lobe was for sensory. So if you look at this, this is SAD. So the postcentral gyrus is sensory. It's afferent pathway. It's going to take information or receive information through afferents. And then it's located dorsal to or behind the central sulcus. So what is this? If this is SAD, sensory afferent dorsal, what is this? This is MEV. This stands for motor efferent ventral. The primary motor cortex is found in the precentral gyrus. The primary sensory cortex is found in the postcentral gyrus. And gyrus is high or low. Gyri is high, sulk down low. So one more time. Gyri is high, sulk down low. Gyri is high, sulk down low. So gyrus is the elevation, sulcus is the depression, and these are usually like descriptions or landmarks of what's going on in the brain. So have fun with that. But that's just talking about sulcus and gyrus and getting you ahead of the game. So fissure, pretty similar to the concept of a sulcus. It's a groove or a depression. Cerebellum, right? What is this for? Balance, coordination, and unconscious proprioception. Did we cover proprioception? Let's just do it again. What is proprioception? Well, if I haven't told this story, let's assume that I didn't. If police officer pulls somebody over on the side of the road, right, for drinking, and a normal person would touch their nose like this, a drunk person might touch their nose like this, right? Or maybe they might even like not be able to find their nose if they're drunk. Their reflexes and their proprioceptors are, let's say, the capacity is diminished. So proprioceptors monitor muscle function. Proprioceptors monitor muscle function. And what are the two types of proprioceptors? We have muscle spindle fibers, and they monitor stretch in the muscle. So stretch and tension, pretty much the same thing, but the location of where these are and how they respond to stretch or tension stimulus is slightly different, but they're both considered proprioceptors. So Golgi tendon organs, for the purpose of class, are going to detect tension in the tendon. So I'm trying to keep it so that there's some similarity between